Welcome back everyone. As you can see from my new introduction video, I finally decided to call the overall video collection that I'm going to be releasing now Nature's Tales. The videos which are going to be in the Strangeness of Sharks section are going to sort of be a mini-series which will be within those Nature's Tales videos. So I hope you like the new title, and I hope you like the new introduction my wonderful friend made for me, and his links to his YouTube channel will be in the description below if you want to check out some of his really amazing work. So this video in particular is going to be on young bearing in sharks and asexual reproduction. Elasmobranchs, which as I've mentioned before is the taxonomic group which sharks, skates and rays belong to, is a massively diverse taxonomic group which has an evolutionary history spanning over 400 million years. Because of this, sharks have evolved a diverse array of young bearing strategies, which is pretty weird because most taxonomic groups tend to predominantly only do one. As mammals, we are predominantly viviparous, meaning that we give birth to live young. The only exception to this are 5 species of montamiers, those being the platypus and 4 different species of echidna, and those are oviparous, which means they lay eggs. However, for sharks there isn't really one overall birthing strategy. Viviparity, oviparity and ovoviviparity have all been noted within the taxonomic group, but a lot of the young bearing strategies for sharks are pretty unknown, and this is because sharks tend to live in environments where it's very difficult for us to study their behaviour and physiology, especially when it comes to birthing. Relatively common occurrence which has been noted in sharks is something called spontaneous abortions, and this has made it pretty difficult to understand what young bearing strategy a particular species of shark has. Basically, when a shark gets stressed out from being captured, maybe for tagging for scientific reasons or maybe through fishing, they can basically release their young. This led to believe that the majority of species were actually viviparous. However, post-mortem studies of the same species revealed that most of them were actually ovoviviparous, meaning that the embryo initially develops in an egg case within the mother and is eventually hatched within her reproductive tract. After an intermittent period of development, depending on the species, the offspring is then live-born, and this is now understood to be one of the most common ways that sharks bear young. Although this massive range of birthing strategies is already pretty strange, more weirdness occurs when you actually delve into ovoviviparity itself. In many ovoviviparous sharks, something known as intrauterine cannibalism or oophagy can occur. This is basically when the most developed shark young will actually consume unfertilised eggs, other fertilised eggs, and their own less developed siblings. In sand tiger sharks, this behaviour has been noticed quite frequently, and this is because when the young shark is born, it often has injuries sustained from fighting with its younger siblings in the uterus. There is a lot of debate on why uterine cannibalism actually occurs, but one of the most prominent beliefs is that it is actually a way of training those sharks to develop their predatory abilities, that they're learning how to be a good predator for being in the wild by fighting and hunting on their siblings. One of the possible strangest aspects that links to shark reproduction is the fact that sharks might be able to perform a form of asexual reproduction. In sharks, it is known as parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis is when a female shark is able to produce embryos without any fertilisation from a male. It's been most commonly noted in captive zebra sharks, and this is because the females are raised ex situ without presence of a male of the same species. However, the validity of these virgin births is somewhat up for debate. Some research has suggested that these are actually hybridizations, when one species breeds with another of a different species. For example, when a zebra shark had an apparent virgin birth in Dubai in 2006, it was noted that although she didn't share her enclosure with any male zebra sharks, it was shared with a male blacktip reef shark. So it's possible that a hybridization occurred between that zebra shark and that blacktip reef shark. Another explanation for why these virgin births might occur, and it might not actually be parthenogenesis, is something known as sperm storage. This is basically when the female shark stores sperm in something known as sperm storage tubules within her reproductive tract from when she may have possibly mated with a male before she was of sexual maturity, and these sperm can be stored for quite a significant time actually. But weirdly enough, sperm storage tubules are not actually unique to sharks. It's actually a thing which occurs in many other different species from all sorts of different taxonomic groups, such as birds and reptiles. It's very common in those. So actually, this isn't really a strange thing that sharks do. It's a thing which is quite common in many different species all over the world. So whether or not parthenogenesis actually exists and that female sharks are able to produce their own young without the need of paternal DNA is still up for debate. There's still examples that you can find where people think it has happened, but then there might be some conflicting evidence from maybe she was not raised in captivity, maybe she had a brief year in the wild where a mating could have occurred. It's all very much a topic of confusion, but it's still really interesting, and it's something that has a lot of research still being carried on into. If you have any questions or requests, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, or you can send me a message over any of my social medias. If you want to learn more, I'll leave some links to some relevant papers down in the description below as well. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's not as long as the last one, but again, it's a really strange topic about sharks and the weird things they do. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to learn more.